Beauty tools, all under $50. Are they good for you, or they actually could be harmful? If you'd like to find out, watch this video. Hi, I'm Dr. Konstantin. I'm a facial plastic surgeon and New York-based facelift expert, and we're talking today about beauty tools, skin rejuvenating devices, all under $50. And some of you might ask me, well, why are you even talking about this? You're a plastic surgeon, you do facelifts, so you actually want people to look older so you can sell facelifts to them. How can we trust you here? And you would be completely wrong, because if you taking care of your skin, you're gonna be a far better candidate for a facelift than if you completely neglect all kind of skincare. So I actually want you to do whatever it takes to make your skin look as beautiful as possible, so I can make you look even better with a facelift. These are the devices that we're going to talk about today, and of course this is not a comprehensive list by any means. I ask everyone in the office to bring what they have at home, and I actually ordered a couple of those things on Amazon because I thought it would be very important to talk about those. So the first one I want to talk to you about is the massaging type of a device, and this is gua sha, of course, and the jade roller. Both of them are made of maybe some stones, semi-precious stones. I really don't think it matters what they're made of unless you're a believer in the magic of a particular stone. Otherwise, they all work just as a massager. Now, between the two, I probably would prefer the roller than to just the stone itself, because the way you use it is by sliding it over the skin, and it helps to cool off the skin, which of course has a nice effect of just reducing the swelling, and it does create the lymphatic massage effect. But between something that slides over the skin and stretches it and something that just flows, rolls over the skin without putting any stretch, I would always prefer something that rolls over the skin. Because remember, once you start stretching the skin, eventually by gravity, it's all gonna drop down. Even if you stretch it up, it's still gonna come down with gravity. So anything that stretches your skin has a negative effect and will actually accelerate skin aging. So between gua sha and jade roller, and those two come in a set, I would much prefer the jade roller. The next one is called Radiance roller, and Nurse Jamie invented it. Thank you, Nurse Jamie, for doing good work for us. It does have those two rolling surfaces. One of them is smooth and the other one has those stones here. And again, people who believe in stones might find that it's helpful. People who don't believe it can just ignore it. But it's a very nice massaging device, and I feel like it does something for my skin. When I just roll it gently, I can feel it. It doesn't stretch the skin, and it will help to promote lymphatic drainage. Now, in the description of this device, and I'm going to read it for you, it says that it's a massaging action, which is absolutely true. It tightens, firms the facial muscles, enhances the natural contour of the face, reduces the appearance of fine wrinkles and lines, promotes better skincare absorption. And I agree with all of this except the muscle tightening. We really don't need the muscle tightening in our face, because anytime we tighten the muscle, we create more wrinkles. Think of Botox. Botox actually relaxes the tight muscles, and this way we get rid of the wrinkles. So if you tighten the muscles, you get more wrinkles, right? Trust me, I'm a plastic surgeon. I know that. So this device is fantastic. I love it. It feels good on the skin, and I don't really see any negative of it, except it may be a little bit expensive. But this is something that you can put into your daily skincare routine, and you can do that massaging before putting your moisturizing skin cream, and it should have a very positive effect on your lymphatic drainage and blood circulation. The next two devices are also massagers. They seem to be doing exactly the same thing as the previous three, but they have a battery that creates vibration, and that, I believe, makes a difference. And the difference is not necessarily for the best. Now, they claim to do the same thing: promote circulation, promote blood flow, increase lymphatic drainage, and just reduce the swelling. But by creating vibration, this does exactly the same thing as stretching the skin. This vibration might actually start stretching the ligaments of the face, and those ligaments are, of course, are the structures that hold everything together. And if you do it consistently, that vibration may stretch ligaments to the point where your face is going to start drooping, which will accelerate the aging process. Now, again, this is not something that's scientifically proven. We never did any studies to show that vibration on the face will accelerate the aging, but we know, for example, that in certain situations we use ultrasound in order to break up those firm collagen attachments after surgery to improve the fibrosis. And the ultrasound is basically the same as vibration, it's just a very high frequency vibration. So this device, I'm not so sure about I would use it on my face on a consistent basis, right? So if you do it a few times, it's great, the vibration is going to help. But if you do it day in and day out for many, many years, you might actually be aging your face, so just be careful with that. The next two devices in our beauty lineup are a microdermabrasion and a dry brush. So the dry brush is self-explanatory. This one is for the body, but you can use the same one for the face. It's just a little smaller, and you remove the top layer of the skin, those dead cells, just by scrubbing it over. And it has those nice hubs here, so it prevents it from being too rough on the skin, and it just the surface of the skin that it treats, right? So this is a nice device, and you have a full control of how much or how little you want to do. Now, this one is electrical, and it has a suction cap and a rough edge around it. So you suction the skin in, and then you just slide it over, and this creates a slight abrasion. And again, it removes the top surface of the skin, and it cleanses the pores, make the skin a little plumper, increases the blood circulation. Now, with this particular device, you just have to be mindful of the suction, because if you use it on your skin and you remove it directly out, you're just gonna stretch the skin. And again, anything that stretches the skin is not good for you in the long run. So just be very careful when you use something like that on a regular basis. You have to slide it over the skin, but not directly pull it out. The next two devices are actually microneedling devices. This is a dermal roller, and it has those tiny needles that you just roll over your skin, and you feel that scratching effect. And it comes in two different forms. In one, the needles are much bigger, and this one is very, very short. So the principle behind these devices, it doesn't massage your skin, it doesn't get rid of the top layer of the skin, but by penetrating through your skin to the layer of the skin called papillary dermis, it creates a rejuvenating effect by stimulating collagen and stimulating the blood flow in this area. So the devices like this with very short needles, I'm not sure how useful they are, because they are not going deep enough into that layer. At the same time, they are not massaging anything, not exfoliating. And when I run this over my skin, it kind of feels a bit uncomfortable. So this one is definitely not my favorite. Now, there's a different device on the market that has the needles that are deeper, and those needles will actually get through into the skin. But the home device like that is just, to me, seems a little dangerous, because the length of the needle is not regulated. And on the face, for example, the skin is a much different thickness. Under the eyes, it's very thin, and in the forehead and in the cheeks, it's very thick. So in a professional device, there's this actual hub where you can regulate the depth of needle penetration, so you are just in the right layer when you are in a particular part of the face. And those home devices, the length of the needles is not regulated, and that can create problems in certain situations. So this is definitely not my favorite. I personally would not recommend anybody using it. The next device uses high electrical field, and you plug it in, you turn it on, so it starts making some noise, and you can also see the color change. And it looks a little bit like a taser, so I'm just too afraid to put it to my face, but I can show it to you on my wrist. When I touch my skin, it changes color, it makes some noise, and I feel just a little bit of electrical stinging. So you're supposed to just go and put it on the skin of your face and move it around for some skin rejuvenating effect and increasing the blood flow and lymphatic drainage and doing all those good things that we typically want to see. Now, this type of device was invented in late 1800 by a French scientist, D'Arsonval, and he used electricity. Back in the days, electricity was very fashionable, it was very new, so he used it for treatment of just about everything under the sun. Now, some people really love this device, they swear by it, but I'm a bit skeptical. Now, something that was invented 100 or over 100 years ago, if something like that actually worked, we would all be using it. So every household in the country or even in the world would have a device like that if it actually had some beneficial effects. Now, the fact that very few people actually know about it kind of tells you that it's probably not very effective. And if it is effective, the effects of it are very limited. This is my new lineup from the beauty tools that I kind of like, and I think they are effective, to the other ones that I don't feel they are effective and they could actually be harmful. So this one is not a part of our lineup. It's a lot more expensive than $50 cutoff that we have here, but it's just a reminder to myself to tell you that microneedling is actually good when it's done professionally by a doctor, nurse, or esthetician. It can rejuvenate your skin, but it has to be done with a particular device that has this specific needle depth that goes to the area where it can create that nice rejuvenating effect. So I'm gonna put this one aside, and the next one is Radiance roller. Thank you, Nurse Jamie. It actually feels very good to the skin when I run it over my skin, and it can create some increased blood flow and lymphatic drainage. So I think this is a very nice device. Jade roller also is quite nice, works much the same way. You can just roll it over your skin, and that's causing some nice massaging action, and over long run it can rejuvenate your skin. Now, gua sha device is fantastic for people who have that swelling under the eyes, and you can just press it gently over the area and that will reduce that swelling. At the same time, you have to be mindful not to press too hard when you're sliding it over your skin, because you don't want to be stretching your skin. The dry brush is really no-brainer. It's great exfoliating device. Just use the one that's smaller for your face. Make sure you don't press too hard, because you don't want to be too rough on the skin of your face, and you don't want to create any stretching effect. Now, this device, microdermabrasion, is fantastic. It can reduce the pores and it can exfoliate your skin. Just be mindful of how much suction you put on it. It's actually 3 layers of suction, 3 levels of suction, and I would recommend the lightest one because you don't want to be sucking into your skin too harshly into this. The Darsenval device, some people love it, and myself, I'm not so sure that it's effective, but you're welcome to try. It really should not cause any harm unless you crank up the settings too high and cause some skin burn. Personally, I was a little too afraid to put it to the skin of my face. Now, these 3 devices, I would caution you to be careful with them, although I wouldn't discount them entirely. But this dermal roller, for example, the needle depth is not big enough to penetrate to that papillary dermis of the skin where you can create that rejuvenating effect. But at the same time, you can create problems if you didn't wash your skin thoroughly enough and you have some bacteria on the surface of the skin. You can actually create the channels for the bacteria to get inside and cause infection and inflammation. So just be very mindful of that. And those 2 devices, we actually use this device when we do Botox in my office, and it helps to anesthetize the area by creating that feeling of vibration, and people don't quite feel that needle pinch when they feel vibration in the spot. At the same time, massaging your face with this device, well, vibration can start stretching ligaments, so I would be a little careful with it. If you want to do it consistently over a long period of time, you can actually create more of an aging effect on your face rather than a rejuvenating effect. And those are all my beauty tools for the day. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you share your favorite beauty devices and your skincare routine down in the comments. If you have any questions, also please ask in the comments, and I will try my best to answer them.